Hello and welcome to Newsfeed, your daily dose of what people are talking about online, from news stories to what's trending. So it's Black Friday weekend. That means discounts at stores across the world and also on the web. But this year might feel quite different. Inflation is spiking almost everywhere, meaning more shoppers are using the day to stock up on essential items instead of luxury goods. But in the face of such economic uncertainty, is Black Friday a win-win for both consumers and store owners? And how are shoppers and workers coping this year? For savvy consumers, the first rule might be not to fall for the mind games retailers are playing. Don't fall into what this blogger calls the trance.
These are the signs that you might be in the trance. One sign of the trance is that you're experiencing a sense of urgency while you shop. This urgency can come from scarcity mindset, so the worry that things are going to sell out before you can buy them. This sense of urgency can also come from FOMO, the fear of missing out. So a vague feeling that you're missing out on all the good deals because you don't know about them. And so you feel like you need to scramble to go looking for them to find out about them so that you can buy the things before they sell out, because you're also experiencing scarcity mindset. This urgency also comes from the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity lie.
Speaking from experience, that FOMO is real. And interestingly, through the years, retailers have shaken up their tactics to reel in buyers. And even though Black Friday has been around for a while, in recent years, the annual retail bonanza has been held earlier and earlier.
It's Black Friday. Don't miss out on our biggest sale of the year. Doors open Friday at 5 a.m. Doors open Friday at 3 a.m. Don't bother going to bed. Black Friday is Thursday now. The sale's already happening. If you're seeing this, it's too late. In these unprecedented times, happy holidays from our family to yours. If you thought Thanksgiving was immune to our capitalist hellscape, think again. Skip the meal. Your family will hate you, but you will get a TV for 70% off.
Meanwhile, Amazon workers have organized a global Black Friday strike to demand better pay and conditions. It comes after successful unionization efforts at Amazon warehouses across the U.S. Though the retail giant has opposed them all, labor action has gained sympathy from shoppers who feel the massive company isn't treating its employees fairly.
Hey everybody, it's your boy from Illinois, Drew here, and I got something to say. It's time to make Amazon pay. Today, we're announcing that on November 25th, 2022, Black Friday, that we're going to make Amazon pay. A global alliance calling itself Make Amazon Pay is planning international actions using a coalition of groups fighting Amazon on every possible level.
What you need off Amazon, part 37. Nothing!
Actually, Amazon, I do need a few things. Stop violating workers' safety, dignity, and privacy. Stop using work sites designed to squeeze as much labor out of them for as little money as possible. And I'll need that in 2 to 3 working days.
Another digital company with staff issues is none other than Twitter. Even though Elon Musk said he was done with layoffs and even ready to hire again, well, not so fast, because it looks like he still hasn't kicked the habit of sudden firings. The self-proclaimed chief twit fired a dozen more Twitter engineers on Thanksgiving. Tech reporter Ryan Mack says he spent his holiday talking to a Twitter engineer who got fired. The engineer now has 2 months to find a new job or he'll be deported as he's in the U.S. on a H-1B visa. Yikes. James here thinks the billionaire is not to be trusted and says Musk is even firing staff who agreed to his hardcore working conditions. And now Twitter teams are so understaffed that the remaining workers had to spend their holidays in the office. Meanwhile, Musk seems to have enjoyed his holiday. He tweeted, "Thanksgiving cuisine is such a delightful symphony of flavor." And he had a surprise Thanksgiving gift for many controversial Twitter accounts. In a poll, Musk proposed a general pardon to suspended accounts. More than 3 million users voted, with 72% voting in favor of an amnesty. Chief Twit then announced that the amnesty would begin next week, but it'll only be offered to accounts that have not broken the law or engaged in egregious spam. Regardless, the move led to fears that the super spreaders of hate will return to Twitter. And on top of that, Twitter has closed its entire office in Brussels, sparking fears about the platform's compliance with EU laws, which are intended to limit the power of big tech and restrict hate speech. The news broke as EU data revealed that it now takes Twitter longer to review hateful content and remove it. The use of racial slurs has jumped by almost 500% since Musk took over the company, largely because trolls and bots are testing the limits of free speech. The world's richest man says otherwise. He said kudos to the Twitter team for being able to reduce hate speech by over 1/3. Who do you believe, the EU or Musk? One of the scariest moments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict was recent reports that claimed a Russian missile had landed in eastern Poland, killing 2 people. People panicked, concerned that this could lead to a full-blown war between Russia and NATO. Poland, after all, is a member of the powerful security alliance. The Associated Press was the first to issue a news alert, but just hours later, new information showed that it was an accidental strike from Ukraine's missile defense system. The AP fired the journalist James Laporta, who passed on the news to his editors, but new information from news outlet Semaphore shows Slack messages between Laporta and his bosses. One editor said they couldn't believe a U.S. intelligence source could be wrong. Laporta's bosses had the final call, and many people on Twitter agree that what happened to Laporta was unfair. Laporta was a Marine before he was a reporter, and much of his support came from fellow veterans. One noted the cruelty of firing the father during Thanksgiving week, and others called on news outlets to hire Laporta as soon as they could, vouching for his skills as a journalist. Laporta responded by thanking his audience for their support. There's no word yet on whether the agency will reinstate him. So what does this mean for journalists? Kelsey D. Atherton, a U.S.-based military technology journalist, had this to say.
Broadly, I think it's very important that news organizations take their responsibility seriously, and there's no value in getting the scoop on the nuclear war, so you might as well be a little slow when covering such a breaking news event. If you're wrong, it won't matter, and if you're right, you'll be really happy you took the time.
Remember last year when the Omicron coronavirus variant emerged, and we all wondered if we would ever see the end of COVID-19. While coronavirus is still infecting tens of thousands of people worldwide, in China, the impact of the pandemic is felt extra hard because of the country's zero COVID-19 policy and extensive lockdowns. On Wednesday, the country recorded a record number of daily infections since the pandemic began. And then even more positive cases on Thursday. In several districts of Beijing, authorities closed schools, shops, and restaurants. The populous southern city of Guangzhou has also been placed under lockdown.
COVID package, so we just got a bang on our door. It's like past 7 at night. Everybody got this package. I don't know, I guess it's tea and vegetables. I mean, that's nice of them, it's free, but like, I need water. I need tissue, I need water. Like, I appreciate the vegetables, I mean, but I'm so stressed.
But it's these clips that's got social media buzzing. It's thousands of workers clashing with security forces at Apple's main supplier, Foxconn, in the industrial city of Zhengzhou. Former workers have complained about food shortages, draconian COVID rules, and pay shortages at the factory. Chinese authorities have now placed the city into lockdown following the clashes after 1,000 infections were recorded.
Literally looks like the apocalypse has just begun in China right now. Eerie videos have been coming out of China today showing completely trashed and empty streets of the Foxconn factory residences. The factory was the world's largest iPhone manufacturer and was home to around 200,000 workers. But in a matter of weeks, that number's reportedly dropped by a staggering 40 to 50%. See, recently the factory was placed in lockdown, so in fears of being trapped at work, thousands of workers had to flee so quickly that they didn't even have time to bring their belongings with them. And what you're seeing is Foxconn are essentially now going into workers' apartments and throwing all of their belongings out of their windows because it's easier than just carrying it down the stairs.
All right, to something a little bit more heartwarming, there's nothing more special than a mother meeting her baby for the first time, and it's no different in the animal kingdom. Let's take a look at this overload of cuteness that's melting hearts on the internet. Meet Mama Mahale from Sedgwick County Zoo in Kansas. This is the moment mom and baby meet for the first time. The baby chimp was delivered by C-section, struggling to breathe. He had to stay in hospital for 2 days. It's Mahale's third child, and zoo officials say mom and son are doing very well, as you can see.
Good job, Mahale.
And that brings us to the end of today's newsfeed. Find the show on YouTube and do subscribe. Have a lovely weekend.